Yo, SojuTalk Nation! On this week's episode, we'll be covering fuego releases from Cherry Bullet, Card, Pentagon, Moonbyul, and IZ*ONE. We'll also be cooking up some spicy news coverage, including Mina's brave return, Kingdom slated for 2020, and Spotify to change the streaming game in Korea. So prepare your body, get your pregame on, because the fiesta's just starting. Hit me with that intro! Hey, what's up everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 74, and we're recording on Tuesday, February 18th, 2020. I'm Doug, and joining me today, we got Warren.
Hey, what's up everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
And as a quick reminder, please leave us questions at emails at sojutalkpodcast@gmail.com. Sub to the SojuTalk YouTube channel, join the SojuTalk Discord, and be a part of the SojuTalk Nation. Links down below. All right, we got 3 announcements this week.
Oh, wow.
The first one is an explanation of why we're recording on Tuesday, why we got no video going on YouTube. Essentially, I'm in Florida on vacation, as many of you heard last week. We were planning to try to use either my computer or Warren's computer to record, as we normally record on my desktop back at home. But a combination of crappy computers, crappy internet, and Discord kind of pooing itself before we started recording means that you are getting an audio-only podcast this week. So sorry to our YouTube viewers / listeners, but
Hey, that's okay. You know, if you're on YouTube, you still get to see our beautiful faces in the format of a static photo. Just a quick explanation on the photos. We are both Doug and I are both present in each other's photos.
All right, well, I guess that's a thing. Lastly, as I said earlier, we're recording on Tuesday, but because we normally record on Mondays, we're only going to be covering the news up to yesterday, February 17th. So just keep that in mind. We will review the Dreamcatcher song and everything else next week. It is a fire song, so go check that out. All right, second thing. So this is probably what a lot of you want to hear. So in celebration of IZ*ONE's triumphant return with Fiesta, I am happy to announce the IZ*ONE signed album giveaway.
Ooh,
signed album.
Wow.
Signed album.
So I have 2 Hard Eyes albums that I received through M-Wave last year when they released Violetta. They are in my collection right now, but I am going to be giving them away, so that's pretty cool. The albums were signed by Minju and Nako. I am 99% sure of this. I don't have them on me right now, but I know for a fact it's Minju. The second one that I'm almost positive it's Nako, but we'll see. So the Minju album is going to be given away on YouTube, and then the Nako album will be given away on Discord. The giveaway is open to all K-pop fans around the world, so everyone can enter this. And just keep a heads up that the albums are opened and will contain no photo cards, just the signed album. To enter here on YouTube, comment on the episode 74 YouTube video, and please be sub to us. And on Discord, comment in the hashtag IZ*ONE sign giveaway channel. Winners will be picked next Monday evening on February 24th when we normally record. And then the winners will also be announced on either YouTube episode 75 or on Discord. May the odds be ever in your favor. Okay, that was a lot to read.
Good luck, everybody, if you want to win a signed album. Good luck,
Lastly,
everybody.
a big shout out to our new Fiesta patrons. Cypher, I forgot his name last week, so shout out to Cypher. Hanakima and Pure K-Pop Sound, and also our new Fuego patrons, Old Man Jimbo and Sarah XOXO. So shout out to all of them, because y'all are supporting the pod.
Big shout outs. Thanks, guys.
All right, now let's get to the actual show. So in terms of the big new releases, we're covering 5 again. February has been nuts, but back on February 11th, Tuesday, Cherry Bullet came out with Hands Up. On February 12th, Wednesday, we had Card with Red Moon, and also Pentagon with Dr. BeBe. On February 14th, Friday, we had Mamamoo's Moonbyul with Eclipse. And then yesterday, on February 17th, Monday, we had IZ*ONE with Fiesta. But let's start at the top with Cherry Bullet's Hands Up. All right, so Cherry Bullet are from FNC. They debuted last year. Their other 2 A-tracks are Really, Really and Q&A. 0 music show wins so far. In terms of the song, it is not my favorite song by any stretch of the imagination. But this song is really catchy. It has been stuck in my head the entire week. And compared to a lot of the things we're seeing right now, it's pretty different. Mm-hmm. But the big but here, it's very one note. The sample they're using is like a combination of Fur Elise and also like the Korean truck backing up noise.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
You know, like it's the same thing. So in Korea, when like trucks back up, they go doo 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 doo. Like they make the same sound. So that's why I'm saying there. On this music video, obviously there's a humongous focus on Jiwoo, who's their like center / visual. Like, I kind of get it. She is extremely talented, but at the same time, I think one of the highlights and the strengths of Cherry Bullet is Haeyoon's vocals, and they don't really use them in the song that well. Like, she might have some notes, but it's nothing like out of this world. In terms of the music video, at one point I thought I was watching Mamamoo's hip, like the red and black outfits. Overall, if we talk about the girl groups that debuted last year in 2019, I think like ITZY's in a category of their own, right?
Yeah.
And then I would say Everglow, I think, is the highest of the next tier, and then you got like Cherry Bullet, Rocket Punch, right? They've all kind of come back lately. ITZY's coming back in a month, but they're in a different category. If I had to rank the 3 songs, right, I would put Everglow a decent amount ahead of Cherry Bullet, and then that's a decent amount ahead of Rocket Punch. Not gonna lie. But those are my takes on this. I do think Cherry Bullet has a lot of potential, but I think they got to utilize the members they have better.
I agree.
All right, but those are my takes. What about you, Warren?
I think there will be a fair amount of new listeners who will be joining today because of the IZ*ONE giveaway, which you should take part in if you haven't already. And I want to preface this by saying I usually don't have a filter in terms of what I say. Today's gonna be one of those episodes where I don't like a lot of the things. So if you don't take criticism lightly, please turn back.
What?
Look. Let's begin with the song.
Start positive and then gradually.
All right. They sampled one of my favorite classical songs.
Okay.
For release. Sadly, the song sounded like Beethoven was rolling in his graves. Look, here's the thing. The entire song is built on like 3 rhythm structures, like 2 melodies, and there's nothing. There's no emotion. There is no message. There is no content. There is no structure. There is da 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 da. But about hands up. That is the entire song. That is the entire, and I have trouble fathoming how this song came to be, because there is, after going through the entire song, there is nothing more boring in terms of production. There is nothing like that stands out as appealing. The girls are talented, but this is not like a character or like a concept that they are used to, and therefore it comes off incredibly weird. It's this awkward, strange mix of sexy, cute, and badass, and it's not anything. It's just a mix of everything. It's a weird brown glob that ends up here. Yeah.
Obviously, I never hold that extreme of opinion. Like some of our shows, like taglines are like spicy, fuego, right? And I don't personally think I'm very fuego. I kind of like most stuff. I will agree with you to some extent. The song is very one note. That was the main thing I got. I was like, this song felt like it repeated 3 times.
Yeah.
Now, I like the choreo though. I thought it was like, for what they had, it was like it fit. I don't know.
Yeah, the choreo was alright. But I don't know. The song itself kind of lacked a flow. It didn't have like. It wasn't building towards anything. It wasn't building anything. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with trap music, and this falls under trap genre. The BPM, instrument selection, whatever. It's leaning more towards hip hop trap in terms of production, and it took out all the positives of trap and just took all the negatives and just retained it. Added a pop melody onto it. Very typical of the producer. His name is Kim Do-hoon. He's the main guy behind Mamamoo. He's the same guy who plagiarizes every year. Not a fan of him. Not a fan of what he did with this song.
Wait. You got to explain that. You can't just make the take that he plagiarizes every year and not explain it.
Oh, Kim Do-hoon?
Yeah.
There was controversy. The biggest controversy he was a part of was with the debut song of CN Blue. Wetoria, that had a huge plagiarism controversy in Korea, a scandal. More recently, Go BeBe was under a lot of fire for potentially being for being plagiarizing. What he does, he doesn't copy the exact chord structure. He doesn't copy the exact melody. He takes a very similar style, a very similar chord, a very similar melody, and then makes a song with it. And technically, yeah, it's not plagiarism, but it's, come on, like, just because you added mustard instead of ketchup on your hot dog doesn't mean hot dog isn't hot dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right. I'm gonna let you simmer down a little bit. Anita, give us your opinions on Hands Up.
Well, for me, I listened to the song on its own before I watched the music video. And the moment it started, I was very disoriented. I guess because I was not expecting. I saw the teaser for the song, but I still was not expecting it to be such a 180 change for the group, especially having listened to their previous stuff and pretty much liking it for the most part. I really, really loved their debut song. It was really, really good.
It was great. Q&A.
Yeah, Q&A is amazing. I love that song. But for this, I don't know. It was such an interesting take on what Warren mentioned, like a trap hip hop type of sound. It almost, I think for me somehow, it sounded like very old school, like something.
Oh my God, yes. In a very bad way.
Like very old school, but I don't know. Like I can't pinpoint like what group I might have heard this from, like what era. It just sounds something that I might have heard a while back. That might have been popular a while back. But I don't know, like you mentioned the Furley's reference. Maybe this might have something to do with the song as a whole, but I kept expecting it to keep going. Like I was waiting for something else after it played. So I kind of felt like that for the song in a sense where like the chorus would start and then it would end, and then I would expect something a little different or something that would progress the song, but it never did. So it felt very static. Like it kept looping in a sense. The melody, like the verses were not very different.
Oh, did we lose Anita? She said the verses weren't very different. I think we did.
Oh no. Is it a time for a pause? Is it a time
I think so.
All right. We're going to count to 3, 2, 1, cut.
All right. Well, Anita's back. I think we're okay now. She apparently started talking to herself until she realized she's out. But she said that by herself, she made a point about one of the rappers in the group.
Yes. So I think her name is Cherin. I think she was the former Big Hit trainee in the group. But her tone when she started rapping, I thought was kind of impressive. I felt like it went really well with the kind of vibe they were going for. But again, I felt like the overall melody of the song, like the energy of the song, how it didn't really progress, kind of took away from that. But I don't know. I feel like Cherry Bullet has a lot of potential. I still feel like their debut song is their best song.
I agree.
And I hope they go back to that sound. But this is very much a 180. I don't know. I don't think I would listen to it again, but it's very, I don't know, very interesting for them.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'm going to say is if we think about as I was mentioning earlier, the rookie class from last year, especially female groups, there's like a lot of relevant groups from big companies, right?
Yeah.
Like off the top of my head, we got ITZY, Rocket Punch, Everglow, Cherry Pullet, Bandit, right? These are some decent groups. They're gonna have to fight it out the next couple years, and I think they do not have a lot of like leeway in producing songs that are like just okay, right? Like you really got to establish yourself in the first 3 years to like. Obviously, ITZY has inherently a big advantage because they're JYP, right?
Right.
But at the same time, the other groups, like who was to say that Yehua was gonna produce a group that's at a higher level than like Woollim or FNC at the start, right? But it's just that Everglow's music, there's been something about it that people have latched on. And I would objectively say they're number 2 in that group at the moment.
I agree.
Yeah.
As sad as it is.
Do we have any closing thoughts on Hands Up, or should I move on?
One more thing real quick. This is not the first time Beethoven's Fur-Elise has been sampled in a popular K-pop song. There was in 2007 there was a female soloist called Ivy. Maybe you guys know of her. She had a song called Sonata of Temptation. It was one of the biggest hits of that year. And it also sampled, that thing. And it was such a cultural like part. It was like such a big hit at the time. My mom knows the song. I know the song. It's like still imprinted on my mind. To the point where I start having to compare those two songs because of the impact that the first song had, and that song did a really very impressionable job of incorporating the melody of Beethoven into the melody of that song, and those two were really well mixed. Not so much here.
Okay.
Yeah, concerned, very concerned.
All right, let's move on though. So on February 12th, Wednesday, we had Cards, Red Moon. So they are from DSP. They debuted in 2017. Last three songs were Bomb Bomb, Right on the Wave, You and Me. They have 0 music showing so far. I think this is one of those instances of the status quo, being that if you dig Card, you're gonna dig this song. If not, then big oof, big rip, whatever you want to say.
Yes, yeah.
I will say though that this song Red Moon is a good fusion of their tropical house releases and their more big club bangers. I thought that this is a pretty good middle point between the two. For me, my issue with Card is I find that I enjoy Card on like the surface level. Like I think Card is cool. They produce cool music that has good choreography, upbeat. I'm into this kind of stuff. But at the same time, I find it very difficult for me to like deep dive into Card.
Elaborate. What do you mean?
I think it's just like the musical, so some groups, I'm like, I like this group. They have music that I like, but at the same time, I'm not going to be like, I'm going to stand this group. That's what I find myself doing with Card. I like the music, but it's nothing that makes me want to like really become a fan of Card. It's tough. Are you still confused, Warren?
No. I think you worded it quite well.
Okay. I want to give us a shout out to BM. He's my favorite member of Card and the Big Titty Committee. So if y'all don't know, Big Titty Committee is essentially a meme where BM's like, yo, there's this group of idols, these guy idols, we work out together, and it's all about having big man chest region. And so they call themselves the Big Titty Committee. And I think they're producing merch now on proceeds. Some of it goes to breast cancer awareness. So it's turning a meme into a good thing. So that's pretty cool. I want to say though, there is a second male member. His name is Jacef. I think I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce it. I sometimes feel this is going to be a terrible joke that he gets lost in the shuffle. Sorry.
Card.
Okay. Oh my god!
They really focus on the two female members, Ju and Somin and BM, and I feel like sometimes Jacef gets like a little bit forgotten. I don't know if it's just me in my impression of Card, but it just feels like that. Lastly, I just want to say that I think this is another solid Card song, but it's like with all Card songs, I don't know if this is enough for them to like pop off in Korea itself, because I think the Western audience, this is way more palatable, but within Korea, like this type of music is going to be very difficult to explode with. But those are my takes. Anita, what do you think of Red Moon?
Well, like you mentioned, this is still keeping very true to their sound. So I feel like this is something I know. This is something I expected from Card.
Yeah.
I felt like in the chorus, they do the switch up with the Run Baby Run part. And I actually thought like, oh, I like this beat a little better. I wish they could have done this for the whole song. But it was interesting that they did that in the song, incorporate both like the tropical house and the club banger sound. I kind of feel like I lean more towards the club sound they have, like very powerful.
You going club? I see you.
But yeah, so I kind of wish they would have focused more on that for this song, because I felt like it did go back and forth. But it was interesting that they did it anyway. I feel like you mentioned, for me, I just really appreciate that Card not only is very true to their unique sound, but their dance is very, very like hardcore, very energetic. Like I feel like with a co-ed group, it might have seemed like, oh, like the guys have to dance one way, the girls have to dance another way, but like all of them go really, really hard. I really appreciate
that's a good take because they have like inherent issues that other groups don't have to deal with.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they have to do dances that can fit. Well, obviously, I don't think gender norms in dancing should be a thing, but honestly, it is, especially in K-pop, where there's like certain moves that appear more feminine and certain moves that feel more masculine. Card really blends the two together well. Like there are female parts and male parts in like the verses, but whenever they come together in the chorus, I can't really tell. Like it all blends into one, and it's great.
Yeah, I feel like that's really like their very, very strong point. And I feel like as performers, I feel like it would be really, really cool to see them just because they do have this duality that they can work with within the group, but it still works very well for their genre and their choreo. So props to them. I feel like, yes, it's always going to be hard for them to be like to have like a breakout song with this kind of sound domestically in Korea, but they have a pretty big fan base outside as well. So I hope that they can still do well in the long run.
Compared to most groups of their side, they tour way more than most groups.
Yeah,
like,
it makes
like
sense, honestly. Yeah.
But Warren, what are your takes? Oh God, hit us with them.
I've never been the world's biggest Card fan.
Well, that's
no surprises here. Because they do a lot of like what I would classify as what I jokingly classify it as garbage can music. As no, because you know it's like trap music, you know, boom, but it's like you know it's not elegant. It's like inherently like a little bit dirty. Right. You know, it's got a little edge. You know, it's got a bit of rawness to it. I would classify it alongside my futuristic flavor, Zenny Dazilla. Travis Scott, Sick K.
Man, this like backup is intense right now.
In general, like spectrums of music, I would group them with that.
Okay.
My problem with Card has always been that they do those kinds of music. Very hard hitting, very edgy, very powerful music. But Card themselves often they fail to convince me that they can pull off that concept, largely because for me it's a little dry. It doesn't have that raw edge feel to it. If you know what I mean, it feels very artificial. It feels very unreal to me. Here's the thing. Autotune. This song employs a lot of autotune. And it employs autotune in a way where to me it doesn't showcase a good use of autotune. Does that make sense?
Well, no, your point about like the authenticity, I'm completely in the opposite opinion of that.
Here's the thing. When I see the music video, when I see them dance, and when I see them staring at the music video very intensely, I'm sold. There's no doubt in that.
Okay.
But when I'm listening just with music, it fails to sell. They fail to sell the concept to me because it just doesn't have that raw like energy or just rawness. Like for example, again, the chorus, "All run baby run, all run baby bun," and then the bass goes bum bum bum. That part. It's, to me, that's very tame. It's like, come on, where's the energy? Why is really like? Come on.
All right, maybe you a little freaky or something, sir. I don't know. I'm feeling the energy. I don't know about you.
But like, maybe it's because I'm like used to and a lot more familiar with like trap music and like hard hitting like music. But I would normally expect like lots of distorted noises, like lots of like screaming at the end of their lungs. A lot more edge, a lot more rawness, a lot more unartificial energy, and this, it doesn't capture that personally. And then added on top of that, I didn't like the beat change, you know.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't. Because it felt a little forced in my opinion, but that's a story for another time. But I do think I really enjoyed the music video. I do enjoy the dance. And the song complements those two really well.
Yeah.
That being said,
I got a question though.
Yeah,
do you think your opinions are common because you're into hip hop and listen to other trap music?
Right. I do think that. Yes.
Because for someone like me, I thought this was fine. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably largely because when I hear a beat like this, I expect a lot more energy, a lot more like, you know, raw feel to it. And instead I get, you know, these guys singing, which I'm not saying is bad. And there is a lot more of that raw, like edgy energy compared to like, you know, a random boy group, I guess. But I don't know.
So you would suggest like they just go a little bit further, like all in, pushing it a little bit more,
pushing a little further, less.
Man, I don't know if that's possible, man. Like, have you seen these music videos? They going hard.
No, the music videos go hard. The dance go hard. The
instrumentally.
Yeah.
I guess it comes down to the fact that you listen to a lot of K-pop. You like to consume K-pop more audio based, where I am almost exclusively watch and listen to K-pop with music videos going.
Here's the thing. As I've mentioned numerous times before, I feel like the song needs to be able to stand in itself. And the perfect ideal scenario is when that good song that is independently able to sell itself adds itself with a music video, adds a choreo to it, and then even a better experience comes out. If the song is reliant on the visual component, to me that's a little, you know, like maybe I'm a little conservative, but you know, the song needs to be able to independently like give me like, you know, make me excited, you know, like and to me Card doesn't do that by itself. And I recognize that within the K-pop fandom, I am incredibly in the minority. So feel free to tell me that I am, you know, taking a big L on this one.
Okay, but
right.
I think we fully explored this song.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna now move on to Pentagon's Dr. BeBe. So they are from Cube. They debuted in 2016. Their last 3 songs were Humph, Shalala, Naughty Boy. My parents are coming in, so bear with me right here.
Hello, guys.
So in order to allow this to happen, we will let Anita give her opinions on Dr. BeBe first.
Okay. So for me, Pentagon going again with a very dark concept. I don't think they've done this kind of concept before. So it's interesting that they decided to do this now, since their previous comebacks were more lighthearted. Yeah, so for me, the vibe itself felt very EXO for some reason.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Like dark concept. I don't think there were any producers from SM, so it's mostly just the dark concept that EXO has been doing for a while, and now it seems like it's permeating to other boy groups. The beginning of the music video also reminded me of the music video for Neurotic by DBSK. Just like going through like a maze and like gray walls, distraught screaming. I don't know what's going on there, but for me, my key point in this song, which I felt was very impressive, was the chorus. Specifically because the way Hui and Gino, I believe, they're the ones doing like this high note, like a run that starts like very, very, very low and then it goes up. I thought that was really impressive, and I think it really showcases their vocals because they're really, really good singers. But I feel like maybe they don't really get the recognition they deserve as a whole. But I don't know. I like the song. I think I also like the bridge going into the chorus. I feel like even though I like the chorus, it wasn't like super, super memorable for me as some of their other previous comebacks. And And I don't know if that's because of the change in sound and because a lot of people seem to be doing very dark concepts recently. But I don't know. I feel like if I listen to it again, I will definitely get into it just because I do feel like it's a little bit of a change for them. And like I said, like that part in the chorus is really memorable to me.
Okay, so Warren, how do you feel about Dr. BeBe? You've been kind of salty the last 2 songs.
I mean, you know, I'm not a monster. I have a heart.
Okay.
I like songs when I like songs. I like the song. Very similar to Anita. A lot of components of the song felt very solid. It was very well produced, had good flow. In fact, I would argue that it felt very emotional at times, especially with the glissando that you were talking about. You know, like
Yeah.
you know that part. You know what I'm talking about. The whole
Yes,
I did it an octave down, but you get the idea. That was great. And the intro felt kind of awkward with the drums, and then at one point one of them goes like, "Gratata," you know, like.
Yeah.
Was it Hui? Okay, it's okay. He's a great producer. I like you know, yeah, very impressive production. It's you know, not really sure who these people are. Nathan Yoonji seems to be the arrangers. Add-on Hui, that seems to be the production team.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sold. It's a very solid song. I like it. There's nothing I can complain about it in terms of music wise. Very emotional, very expressive. I like it. Music video was a little too much for me.
You think it was overacted?
Yeah, a little bit, you know. But that might be because I'm getting a little old, to be honest. But I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in general, this was my favorite song this week. I'll just put that out there.
What? Okay.
I know, right?
Interesting.
I gotta fight to pick with you in 2 songs. But I do agree this is a really good song. I think this is my favorite Pentagon song that they've ever released. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I agree with Danita. The first thing I wrote down when listening to this was it felt like an older EXO song, but I can't figure which EXO song I want to reference here. There was something about it that felt EXO to me. Another dark concept change, you know, everyone's doing it. I guess Pentagon got to do it too. But I thought that they executed this really well. I personally thought that the music video had good acting. They showed a lot of emotional depth that a lot of other groups don't show. Like, at least there's an acting component in this music video.
That's
I
true.
thought it was something different. You know, I knew Pentagon more for like the rotation of the up-tempo bops and the more fun and whimsical songs. Like Humph and Naughty Boy are like, I don't want to call them trolley songs, but they're like sort of trolly. You know, like the overall feeling is like whimsical.
Yeah.
They're very trolly.
Yeah,
I don't know
like
what you're saying. Yeah.
But Pentagon, another group that did a full concept change. For them, it did work though, I felt. I think that the vocals, choreo, and the vibes are really strong in this song. Vocal line killed it, I wrote here. Hongsuk's shirt, though. I feel like the coordinator must have studied at the Kai Institute of Fashion.
Oh my goodness.
There were like negative articles about how the coordinator should give him more clothing. There were a couple articles I saw. Now, overall, I think this is great for Pentagon. You know, considering B2B is this going to start going to the military. Well, they have started going to the military. Pentagon will be Cube's priority in the guy group realm for the foreseeable future, I would say. This is definitely a step in the right direction for them. Like, clearly, this was really good. At the same time, it is dark. Everything's dark lately, so that's what they have to fight here. But I think this song, personally, I thought this was a certified spicy song. I don't know about y'all, though.
Oh.
I mean, I liked it too.
Oh,
Would you call it certified spicy, Anita?
I would.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're not Anita, but I guess you do. All right, so Pentagon's Dr. BeBe is a certified spicy song. Okay.
Oh, that was
go.
unexpected.
All right, now let's move on to another dark song by Mamamoo's Moonbyul. She released Eclipse. She's from RBW, debuted in 2014 with Mamamoo. Last 3 songs, so her last 2 solo songs were Weird Day and Selfish. Her last song with Mamamoo was Hip. She has 41 music show wins with Mamamoo. Regardless of the music, by having this type of solo song, she is instantly a top tier solo female artist. Now, I'll back that up.
Wow.
She sold about 60,000 albums in the first day.
Ooh.
If I remember correctly, that puts her in third or fourth place for if she was in 2019. Just this first day album sales. So you instantly throw her up there, just based on the number sales. Now, in terms of the song itself, I felt like the song was missing a second verse.
Yeah, I kind of skipped over it.
If you like listen to the song, there's a first verse, there's an intro, there's a first verse, hits the chorus, then they do a bunch of stuff in the middle, and then they just go back to the chorus. I felt it was missing the second chord. I think that her vocals are very underrated, and it's great that she hasn't shied away from them, considering her position in Mamamoo. It would have been very easy for her to do like a rap song and just smirkle out at the camera, because that's kind of what she's known for. I mean, we love the smirk. So I really like the vocals. I thought the eye makeup was a little bit heavy at times.
What? I thought it was pretty cool.
I thought it was so heavy, bro.
That's the dark side of the moon.
Okay. I am very satisfied by this release. I want to say her performance is really good. Like max charisma. That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. There's one thing. At the beginning of the song, there's a sound effect. I thought I was listening to Shootout real quick. At the front of the song.
Shootout by Monster X?
By Monster X.
If you go back,
siren?
Yeah, the siren thing. It sounds just like Monster X. I had to look and make sure I was watching the right music video. But those are my takes. Overall, I thought this was a good song. And considering I'm a Mamamoo and Moonbyul fan, I thought that this was great. But on to you, Anita.
Wow. To be honest, I was excited for her solo stuff, Moonbyul solo stuff, just because I know that on her own, she tends to go for a more tomboyish image, sound vibe. So I was expecting for this because I feel like she's gonna do her thing, like not really the typical Mamamoo concept. Because I feel like she has a less, I guess, stereotypically feminine interest as far as like music and dance, specifically dance. So I don't know, I like this. I like this a lot. I like the outfits. I like the choreo. I like that she was going like very hardcore, like very serious, and very much selling the concept that she was going for, in my opinion. I thought like styling was very good too. Like I feel like it really fit her as like her personality and the concept. So it felt, I would say like this just on its own feels like just so complimentary to her that it feels so right. And I kind of wish that there was like a group or a concept that committed to this kind of thing as a whole as well. Like I know that this is a one-off thing that she's going to do as a soloist, but I kind of wish there was something that Mamamoo as a whole could do, or some other group could do.
Okay. Can I make a point here? I was glad that you clarified here that you want Mamamoo to do this, because I was going to be like, if there are groups that are doing this was essentially a boy group shadow song.
Oh, I was about to say that.
But I feel like
it essentially is.
I feel like it would be refreshing to see it from a girl group, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, But like I was watching.
Maybe. I feel like I would want it to be maybe like see what a girl group interpretation would be, which is what I feel like this kind of was. But it was like a solo song.
Yeah, I think the main, like specifically Mamamoo, so you know how a lot of, well, personally, one of my takes on Hip was like, it didn't feel Mamamoo, right? Like that was one of my major takes. If they did like this song, I would have been like, geez, this is really different. Like different.
That's true.
I wonder how it would come off in terms of authenticity.
Because
but I mean, this is why it felt like for Moonbyul it really works, because I feel like if you know who she is and kind of her style, and even if you watched Queendom when she did her solo stage for the dance solos that they did towards the end, I feel like you kind of got a vibe like, okay, so this is kind of what she likes to do on her own. And I feel like, this solo makes sense as a whole then. But it would be hard to see it as a group with Mamamoo, just because they have a very different vibe, a very different concept of sound. But I think it would be interesting if there was a girl group that did this kind of dark concept, like you mentioned, like the guy dark, but reinterpreted with a girl group.
Okay, but Warren, what do you feel about Moonbyul's Eclipse?
Dar Muslim dar.
Can you comment on the rapping? Because I don't have a good a good grading on what is good rapping or not.
It's not good rapping.
Okay.
However, I will say, I do think Moonbyul knows what she is capable of, and I think she meets those. I would say that if there's a level of expectation that I have with Mamamoo or Moonbyul, she always meets it and goes beyond it. Which I am. That being said, I'm not the world's biggest Mamamoo fan. I don't know why. I don't know what exactly it is. But I always found something a little cringy. But somewhat in a cheesy, enjoyable way. This kind of plays into here. My guess is that it has something to do with the production style. Again, this was written by the same guy, Kim Do-hoon, which I mentioned earlier. For what are they called? Cherry Bullet. And I'm not surprised, because Kim Do-hoon is basically the head producer at RBW, which is where Mamamoo is from. That being said, there's a couple points where I might point fingers and go like, yes, this is a little too much. Earlier I began with dar Muslim dar, which is literally oh moon, what moon. Not sure what they were trying to achieve with that, but it's fine. In general, it really, again, like you guys said, it really felt like Moonbyul was doing this typical trendy dark boy group concept. Yes, she pulls it off really well. Yes, there's a little bit of the little cheesiness that I've seen, some kind of corniness, but I feel like there's a small minority of listeners who notice it, and the rest of the people seem to be fine with it. So I don't think that's a problem in any necessity, and it's not like it's not displeasing in any manner. So yeah, it was all right. I liked it.
I think you're saying that it's based on your expectations for it, right?
Right. Would I actively go back and listen to it? Not really.
Okay, I could see that, especially from you.
Yeah. But I do see that there is a good demand for it. It is exploring new concepts that haven't really been explored with this gender, obviously, and really that's great. For the lack of a better word, it's great. It's awesome. It's not my personal taste, but I do recognize it's a nice song to listen to. It's great.
I want to point out one thing, that it seems like compared to most groups, Mamamoo's like the only group where all of the members can do solos and be successful doing them.
Right.
That is a very interesting thing to point out.
Wasn't that like a selling point? They were like, oh, we're all the main vocals and we're all the main rappers.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been back. It might have been back in the day, but it's clearly I don't think that that's what they were pushing at that hard. At least once they started reaching popularity, like critical popularity with Mamamoo, it definitely wasn't like we're individual. We are Mamamoo. That's literally the line they use. So, it's interesting though, because just based on album sales, she's already top 5 female solo artists. You could put her in that category.
Dang, that's a lot.
Now let's move on to the song that many of you have been listening up to now for us to review. IZ*ONE's Fiesta. They are from Off the Record. They debuted in 2018. The last 2 A tracks, Violetta, Lavi and Rose, 10 music show wins so far. The comeback was initially planned for November 11th, 2019, but was delayed on November 7th due to the produce vote manipulation controversies. But this song has been selling. Well, this album, Blue Eyes, has been going bananas. So here's some numbers. On day 1, they sold 184,000 copies.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
The album became the best-selling girl group album for both the first day and first week on Hanteo on the first day.
God.
Hype.
Jesus.
On day 2, which is today, Bloom Eyes became the best-selling girl group album in Hanteo history, surpassing the previous record of 255,000 albums sold by Twice's Twice Coaster Lane 1.
Oh my goodness.
Dang.
Before we even talk about the song, to become the best-selling girl group, I don't know if it's in the history. I know it's at least in the 2000s, so from 2000 to now, which is a lot of time, right? 20 years. For them to like come back, have this redemption arc, right? Release this song, sell that many albums. Shout out to my fellow.
Shout out.
Like,
big shout outs.
Yes.
All right, but now let's talk about the song. Number one, I'm so happy that Fiesta is here, and I am going to be 100% biased in my review of this. Just gonna let y'all know this. For me, this song is at least a 9 out of 10.
Woo!
I'm not gonna say it's a 10 out of 10 though. It's a 9 out of 10, I think. Maybe like a 9.2.
That's a big number.
So they have the same production team as Violetta. I think that's very evident. The music video also has the certain Eyes One aesthetic going on. There's like a thing that all the Eyes One music videos feel very similar. That being said though, Fiesta is either my second or third favorite Eyes One 8 track. It's not my favorite one. Just the reason why it's not my favorite is there are just certain things in this song that I just don't really like. Like I'm saying I love the song, but there are a couple aspects that I just like, oof. You know what I mean? Like I wish they had changed them.
Oh,
Number one, can we talk about the magical techno fart in the second half of the chorus?
What?
Whatever that is. The trumpet thing that comes in.
what?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Something about that I found just to be like,
Techno fart.
you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying though, right? Something about that felt
Yeah,
like
I guess.
I was like, ooh, we doing that? That being said, let me get back to more positives. I think the three members that stood out the most were number one, Chaewon, the radish. This is the if Violetta was Minju's era, Fiesta is Chaewon's era. I don't think that is a hot take by any stretch of the imagination. Additionally, I think Eunbi really stood out, and of course, they put a lot of focus on Wonyoung because she is the center of the group. My favorite scene in the entire music video is right before the first chorus. Wonyoung is sitting and she has like a blue ribbon looking like a butterfly. That was crazy to me. Here's a hot take though for Warren.
Oh, what did I do?
BOOM won 1 week too late.
What do you mean?
I'm saying that Woolin won this comeback and it proved that Woolin artists can make fire stuff. It was just 1 week too late.
What the? You are trying to pick a fight with me right now? But I agree with you.
Here's the thing. With this comeback, I am 100% convinced now that Eunbi will not be Rocket Punch and is going to go solo.
Very doable, yeah.
There's a couple reasons. Number one, she is a lot older than the Rocket Punch members. Number two, I hadn't been sold on Eunbi going solo until she started singing the chorus of this song and her performance aspect. I was like, I think she could go solo. That was my overall take. But going back to Chaewon though, Chaewon's haircut was the best decision anyone's ever made in that company. Right? Like,
Yeah.
we had seen Chaewon as the B-track queen. She'd always sing the choruses in the B-track, right? For some reason, I'm happy they did it, but off the record, decide we're gonna push Chaewon really hard in this song. She got like, she sang the first line, she sings one of the choruses, and she has the breakdown thing at the end. She has 3 very significant parts. I'm down for that. Overall, though, I thought the chorus and the choreo were epic. The one weird scene, other than the weird sound effect, which I'm not a fan of, like there's a scene with Yujin and her dress, and there's like a blue light, and all of a sudden, like Haewon has a basketball in her dress. I don't know what they were going for.
What?
If you watch the music video, there's a point where Yujin is holding her dress, and there's a light going from behind her, and Haewon's like under her dress. I'm telling you, go watch it. It will completely ruin your immersion.
Okay, no, I think I know what you're referring to. It didn't register to me that was Haewon in specific.
It's Haewon, because right after they show that, they like open the curtain and Haewon's there. I don't know what they were. There must be some lore thing going on, but y'all know I don't really care for. Overall, though, super happy with this. For me, song of the week. But on to you, Warren.
What I'll say is Singular Sounds Feature Based Sample Pack Volume 1 on Splice. It's the same sample pack I keep mentioning here and there in this podcast. It's the one that was used in, Fuck It by Big Bang. Sorry for the NSFW language. It's the same sample pack that was used in what the one Luna song. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, Girlfriend. It's the all the sound effects are from that sample pack. It seems a lot of the synths as well, which is fine. It's a little lazy, but that's okay. It works. In fact,
do you think that your knowledge of sample packs takes away from your enjoyment of K-pop?
Partially. Although I do think if you listen for arrangement in a lot of the K-pop song releases, you'll probably notice that it's the same samples being used over and over again. I earlier in the group chat I sent the samples because I also have that pack. I sent the samples individually, and Anita picked them out that it's from IZ*ONE. So I don't think it's
they're recognizable enough.
Yeah, it's become recognizable enough. That being said, that is my only gripe with the song. That is it was a little lazy in terms of instrumentation, but it's inherently a very difficult genre to put together, to arrange, to mix and master. It and melodies. Wow, have you heard a song that does melodies like this? It just keeps going in unexpected directions, and it pleases me. It's great. I like it. It's a little busy. Yeah, their instrumentation's a little lazy, but I'm gonna ignore all that criticism and say I really like this song because it takes a lot of unexpected twists and turns that I had never heard of before. It's great. Yeah, that's what I have to say. It is a little busy. It is a little intense. But it's fine. It's it's okay. I still like it.
It does have a very IZ*ONE sound though.
That's the thing. Yeah. It's very hype, but it's elegant. They're like,
I feel you. That's, like in the second half of the chorus when they have that sound effect I don't like though, they were doing they got in the line and did the kick dancey stuff. I was like, I see you, right? I know. But Anita, what do you feel about Fiesta?
I really like it. I think from the beginning, because I also heard the song itself before I saw the music video. I felt like it gave me Feel Special Twice vibes for some reason, like very twinkly, very sparkly sound. The sample pack that Warren keeps mentioning, it was recognizable, but I like it. I like that sound. I think it was used well in this song particularly. Visually though, I feel like it was a lot going on, but it almost felt like I wasn't that overwhelmed because everything flowed very well. Like the transitions were pretty good, and then just visually, like the sets were really well done. I think the main set they have where they all dance together, I really liked like the cutout moon they had. It looks very like 1920s, like Art Nouveau type of thing. I thought that was really pretty. Their outfits are always super pretty. I love the styling. I think the styling for IZ*ONE is the best that I've seen for girl groups. It's really well done. Like everybody looks great.
Fuego.
I think I would say for me, Taewon also stood out because when I listened to the song by itself without the music video and the second chorus came on, I feel like I heard her voice and I was like, who is this? I feel like it's not NB, but I was like, who is this? And then when I watched the music video, I was like, it's Taewon.
I know, right?
She's like within IZ*ONE fandom, she's like, I think she's underrated. Like we Wiz ones like know that she's like super talented. I would argue that she's like top 4 in almost everything, right? Like each category. But she doesn't really get the props. They like really pushed her hard here, and I was so happy for that. But keep going, Anita.
I feel like it was a good call because I feel like it did add some variety to the chorus, which I think this is the only thing that I felt was a little lackluster. I was expecting like a more powerful, more high energy chorus, I guess. But I felt like by switching the chorus with like the first I think the first two, or the first one was NB and then Chaewon. I feel like that worked pretty well. And I feel like it did showcase her vocals a little more. So I'm happy for that. I also have to say, like, when I watched the music video, I thought Sakura was also very, very good. I thought she seemed much more like, I don't know, like grown up, like mature. I don't know what to call it. But I think everybody was like at their peak at this point, like best.
Yeah, there's like a meme going on that's like, Sakura, how long do you want your hair to be? And the response is yes. that's the response. So there's 12 tracks on this album. A lot of people's hot take is that Fiesta is the worst song on the album.
Oh, now, really?
If this is the worst song on this album, that just shows how I feel about this album. Because we all agree, I guess we all agree now that this is a good song, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that a lot of people are saying this is the worst song of the album is a good thing, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Well, now I need to go listen to the whole album. Doug, you're the B-side hater. What is it called? B-side, A-side?
No, I'm the A-track assassin.
Okay, A-track assassin.
All right, so here are the ones I like. So Ayaya, that has great choreo. That has a stage. You go watch that. I really like the song Open Your Eyes. I think that one's really cool as well. And Spaceship is like the Chaewon bubblegum B track. So there's always one of those, like Airplane. It's similar to Airplane. Is this certified spicy? Because I think it is.
I would hold on that.
Oh.
Here's the thing. For me, I kind of touched upon this a little bit earlier. Eyes 1, discography. Lavian Rose is at the top. You know, Violetta's, you know, it's second. I would put Fiesta on third. Just because it's a little less. Because it's a little more busy. It's a lot very stimulating.
I want to gauge your threshold. Is Violetta spicy, certified spicy for you?
Possibly. I would say that's on the very like.
Okay.
Very like.
I just wanted to
on
know.
the line, yeah, and the Fiesta's like right below the line. I would say.
I want to give a shout out to Eunbi too. She lost so much weight for this comeback. She was so skinny in this comeback. I don't know if
amazing.
Everyone was so skinny. Like, let's be real. Maybe the 3 months of depression by like they all just didn't eat. It was like I was like, Jesus. He told me it's so skinny now. I'm concerned. That's
here's
one
the thing,
of my takes.
One thing I noticed was that like this concept isn't supposed to be like edgy, you know. It's not like, oh, you know, girl crush, but they're badass.
Yes.
This is just proof that you don't have to do girl crush to be badass. This is badass.
Awesome. I'm glad that you guys like this song though, but I'm a little angry that you didn't find this certified spicy. But there was a lot of other songs. There were a lot of other things that were released this week. 2 of them. So AB6's BOOM, who's the member who was not on Produce, he released Moon Dance. There's a music video for it. So they have a special digital EP called Finally with a 5 because they have 5 members. They released solo tracks for each of the members, and I think more music videos are on the way. But the first one came out with BOOM. Second of all, Newest released Let's Love. It's like a fan track for Valentine's Day. They released it on Valentine's Day itself. So go check that out as well. So this, Warren, what time are we at right now? It must be really deep in.
We're at about 45 minutes.
Okay, only 45? Okay, cool.
And earlier we had the little no. Cause remember we cut earlier because Anita dropped.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're like already at 1:30. But
you know what? That's okay. They like it when you have long episodes, right?
That's true. Yeah. Anita, hit us with them show winners.
Okay, well, the show champion once again had no winner or chart on Wednesday, so I don't know what's going on with that. But the 2 big winners for this past week were G-Friend and Chico. So G-Friend had their first win for Crossroads on Tuesday on the show and followed it up with winning M Countdown on Thursday, Music Bank on Friday, and Inkigai on Sunday. So they have a total of 4 wins. And Chico's Any Song was also had its 8th win on Saturday on the show, Music Core.
아무 노래 나 들어봐.
Well, a couple things I want to talk about. Number one, Zico, he triple crowned on show Music Core, but I don't think that's something they count. That's more like an Inkigayo thing, but he did win it 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Additionally, the G-Friend buddy fandom is so strong. It's so hard to compete with. They, like, last year, we thought that they had a down year, right? At least we felt musically, but they were the only group to win all of the awards and they won it twice. They won all the awards twice. So absolutely crazy. Also, the show is now back, so we now will have 5 winners each week. But show champion is MIA. We don't know what the heck is going on with them.
Yeah.
But now let's move on to hot takes with Hubert.
Whoa.
So cousin Hubert's gonna come on and give the weekly hot take, and then we will talk about it. Hit us with that hot take, Hubert.
Whoa. It's your boy Hubert. How y'all doing? Should I go?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yo, screen time distribution is equally, if not more, important than line distribution. How's Florida, Douglas?
That was good, Hubert.
No, how's Florida, Douglas?
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
How is Florida? I'm asking how you're doing.
I mean, you have okay. I didn't understand you because of the weird voice you got today, Hubert. But
Bye.
Florida is extremely warm, and Mickey Mouse says hi.
Whoa.
Nice.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Why are you guys so mean to my cousin?
I mean, I didn't know you were like related to the Quiet, but I guess you are.
Basically the Quiet.
All right, but the weekly hot take is screen time distribution is equally, if not more important than line distribution. That's an interesting take.
That's an interesting take. I'll go first.
I agree with. Oh, okay, go first. Go first.
No.
You're gonna go first.
No, Doug Oppa, go first. Doug Oppa, punish.
All right. Jesus.
That's a reference.
So, I struggled with this one, thinking about it this week.
Okay.
The reason is line distribution is, I'm going to say, heavily associated with screen time, right? Like,
Yes.
if we think about how K-pop functions, especially on like live stages for the most part, it's like when you sing a line, generally your face is on the screen, right?
Right.
Music videos are a little bit different in that sometimes you show other things or like the storyline or things like that, right? I think for music videos, screen time is more important, right? Like, let's say, but I think this really comes down to sometimes that certain idols don't get a lot of lines just because. Like, for example, I have an example here. Twice Momo does get lines, right? But what is she mostly known for? Being the dancer,
Right.
right? Now, she might get a lot of less lines, but a lot of times in the music video, she gets a good amount of dance break here, right? Like she does the dance break and everyone thinks it's amazing, right? So in that case, screen time is more important for her, right? As an individual. That being said, if we extend this hot take into live stages, line distribution is the most important thing for the most part, because there are dance breaks in like live shows, but at the same time, a lot of these production teams, we always complain about the camera work at music shows. And what do? What's the easiest thing to do? When someone sings, you put the camera on their face, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But those are just my initial takes. Warren, what do you think?
I mean, I generally agree, and I'm gonna add on that. Well, screen time and line distribution in terms of the song should kind of mirror each other, I feel.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Right. I feel like always, in many cases, the music video should be a good complement to the song. It should mirror a lot of what's going on in the song, and therefore, a lot of screen time distribution should be influenced by line distribution. Although, if there are different, creative reasons that they decide to stray from that, go for it. Do whatever. Yeah, right. I'm sure there's a good reason you want to do it, and most of the times it works. Awesome. But in general, going back to the take, I am in agreement with Doug mostly. K-pop, at the end of the day, is a very visual industry. It's a very media-focused industry, in terms of TV, videos, and sure, the voice is important too. But matching the voice with the idol's face is what gives that person a character, a presence in on stage or music videos. So they could be singing all day long, and if they're not on screen, like, I don't know, man. Like, do you guys know Bang Myung-soo, right?
Yep.
Bang Myung-soo, you guys might think he's a comedian, but he's also a singer. He has released over 10 albums.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? That being said, he's not a good singer. he's a very poor singer, if you will. And there's a very famous incident called the Odongdo incident, where he had a song called 바다의 왕자, the Prince of the Sea, or Ocean. And that song has a very high note in one of the choruses, and he completely failed.
Oh, no.
And it was a live stage. And the camera was like, I don't know what to do. So for the live stage, the camera like switched the angle from like close-up view to like entire view for like the last like 30 seconds of the entire performance, where like one of those like big shots where like the audience is visible, the entire stage is visible, the night sky is all visible, the moon is visible. It was like that. And the end result, where we're seeing this entire stage because the cameraman does not know what to do, is not great. Because now at this point we're like, might as well as be a robot singing, might as well as be just the MP3 playing, and then we wouldn't know. That being said, we do know it's not the MP3 because Bang Myung-soo didn't do a good job of singing, but that's okay. Yeah.
So how are you gonna tie this to this take?
Going back, the end result was that Bang Myung-soo wasn't on screen. And that wasn't great. It was not a good sign. So yeah, screen time, big important, much special, big.
I want to present the other side of the argument where a lot of times in K-pop you do need to push your popular kids. Like, I'm not gonna say popular. Generally, when companies push someone hard is because they recognize that they're obscenely talented, right?
Right.
And with all things in life, you want to put your best foot forward. And what is your best foot forward? Your most talented kids in your group, right? Now, if we think about K-pop, it is music. So therefore, oftentimes the kids who could sing the best are given the good parts and they're pushed in the front, right? It's tough to talk about this hot take, especially with some of the groups that are really pushing hard carries lately, i.e. Everglow, right? Daya, Wakey Makey, right? Those are the type of groups that I think a lot of people would say are pushing individual members. Now, as a fan, because you got to think, a lot of the times fandoms consist of everyone in the group. Well, not everyone. A lot of people in a group like a specific member, and then they also like the group. Like for me, in IZ*ONE, my favorite members are Hitomi, Chaewon, Yujin, right? Do I want them to take up a lot of the screen time? Yes. But do I recognize that there are other very talented kids in IZ*ONE who may or may not be more talented than the kids I like? For sure, right? Like, here's the... There are in every group there are certain members that you eventually classify. I don't know if this is the right term, but there are like filler members in a group, right? I don't know how else to put it. There are members who are there to fill numbers, although they are talented. There are other kids in each of their roles that are a little bit better than them.
Right, the ace members in Korean, as they would say.
For example, let's say so like Hitomi is a better dancer than she is singing. Right, she's a good, but we do have someone in the group like Chaeyeon who was like a god tier dancer.
Right.
Now, would it make sense to give Hitomi the dance break when we have someone like Chaeyeon? Probably not.
What?
Therefore, I struggle with this take because do I want Hitomi to be on the screen all the time? Yes, right, because I want to see her cheeks on the screen the whole time, right? But at the same time, do I recognize that she can't be given a vast amount of screen time because there are other kids who are talented in the group? Yeah, right. So it's like a weird situation to be in. But Anita, what do you feel about this take?
To be honest, I feel like I have a lot of conflicting feelings regarding this because, like you mentioned, there are people within the group that might seem like, they're definitely very, very talented in the vocal department, or they're very, very talented in the dance department. Or like visually, people push them as like the center, Yeah. So I get that strategy for promoting a group, but I also feel like as just thinking of them as people, right? Like they're teammates, they're group members. They have to live and work together, right? And I just feel like it must feel very, very awful to see that you don't get the same amount of lines or screen time as your fellow group mate, right? So I always feel like it would be best, right, if everybody had equal distribution of lines, of screen time, if possible, or at least as close as possible. But I also feel like I think it also goes against that idea of like push your best vocalist first and then distribute lines to like sub vocals. Maybe, I don't know. It gets a little messy. I feel like honestly, for a group to be very successful, I think it would be best if all members are recognizable, if all members have like their I guess their spot within the group that is not replaceable, right? Like this is something that this person does, like they do the dance break or they do the rap line or they do the high note, something like that makes them very, very recognizable within the group. I get it that it's not doable for groups that have a lot of members maybe, or where they have members that are very like stand out. But I do feel like it's conflicting to see it like that, where they do get more screen time than others.
I want to make 2 points. The first one being is, if you do shoot for complete equal line distribution, a lot of the times your song and music video ends up being very like abrupt and choppy, right? Like I think there's certain groups and songs where you're like, all right, they're literally switching the kid every line, right? And sometimes it just doesn't naturally make sense to do that.
Right.
And of course, sometimes, like, what's the worst? Let me point out a part in the Luna So What music video, right? They gave Hyunjin and Cherry like the same concept, like they're like twins in the music video.
Just like Chu and what's her
Go
name?
On.
Yeah.
Like I get why they're doing it, but at the same time, if I was like a Hyunjin fan, right, I would be like, come on, you just paired her with someone, right?
Right.
So I could see that. But the last thing I want to point out is K-pop is not a genre of singularities. What I mean by that is that there are multiple releases for most groups, unless your company's terrible, and there are many different opportunities for you to shine. The perfect example this week is Chaewon. In all the other 8 tracks, she was almost like, she was there, but she wasn't like there. Do you know what I'm saying?
True.
Right.
But this is her era, right? This is her time to shine. Like, Fiesta will go down as like short hair Chaewon Radish Festival, right? Like that's what this is. Now, did she patiently wait her turn? Yes, but like in the same like breath, like Minju in Violetta was the main focus, especially like that breakdown after the first chorus. That was one of everyone's most memorable things, her visuals. In this one, did she take a little bit of a seat back? Yeah, but it's because she had her due last song, right? So I don't think a lot of the times as fans, when our favorites don't get all of the lines or screen time, we shouldn't, I guess you could be disappointed. That is a fair thing to be. But at the same time, just know that I feel like your idol will eventually get their due. So
hopefully.
Hopefully. A lot of people don't. That's the thing. That's the
a lot of groups don't. Like sometimes, especially groups with like a definitive hard carry. That's a rough situation.
Like, the reason IZ*ONE stands out so much in that department is because they have so many members. 12 members. Yeah. And like distributing like a good amount of line distribution with 12 members, that's difficult. And they pull it off. It honestly, as most things, comes down to what the company feels that they want to do, because they're definitely ones making the decision. Like, for instance, Fantagio is like, Yujung, Doyeon, those are our kids. Let's go, right? But I think that wraps up the hot take for this week. Let us know what you guys think. It's a very like touchy subject, screen timeline distribution, because every time when there's a new release of a song, certain people are happy, certain people are not, right? And I think a lot of it comes down to their favorites getting lines or not. I don't blame them, like if
I don't blame them at all.
Yeah, if my favorite girl group member didn't, get a lot of lines.
I mean, imagine if Jury was doing like the background screaming parts, you would be so angry. Exactly.
Don't do that to me.
All right. News and events. The first one, Mina's brave return. On February 11th, hashtag Proud of You Mina trended worldwide after Mina performed Feel Special for the first time with Twice at the Fukuoka stop of the Twice Lights tour.
Wow.
This was the first time Mina appeared with the group since going on hiatus due to mental health concerns back in August of last year. JYP Entertainment noted that Mina's condition had stabilized significantly and that the company, as well as the other Twice members, will continue to look after her health. Mina is expected to slowly join the group's official schedule, but her health remains a top priority.
Wow.
Yay.
Wow. I'm so happy. Oh, gee.
Happy ending right here.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm glad things worked out.
There is a video of this performance, and they all look extremely happy that she's back. And I think it's a good idea to ease her back in the Japanese promotions first, because I feel that that's where she'll be more comfortable.
Yeah.
The Twice Lights tour is ending. That was announced. It's going to end with a Seoul date, but we'll have to see, because that's a good opportunity for them to ease her back in with a new comeback whenever they come back this year.
Now I know she's back, but I hope she takes it easily. You know.
Yeah.
I hope she eases in. You know. I hope she doesn't dive into everything. You know, like.
I want to give props to JYP as a company though for giving her the time
For
she
sure.
needed.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You could tell from what was going on that they included her parents in the decision, because her mom was seen a lot of the times with her in Korea. So it feels like the JYP family is doing the right thing. Next, Kingdom slated for 2020, Anita.
Goodness.
Oh boy.
On February 13th, it was reported that Mnet will launch Kingdom, the boy group version of Queendom, later this year in August. An exclusive report stated that there will be 2 versions of the show for the second season. The first one will just be called Kingdom, and it will be for well-known groups. The second one is going to be called Road to Kingdom, for male groups who have not yet won their first music show.
Oh.
Wait a minute. So we're gonna have 2 shows.
We're going to get 2 shows.
Kingdom and Road to Kingdom.
My guess right now is that one of them would be on their YouTube channels and one would be on TV. That's what I would think.
I do think it's a good thing that they have this class division, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you're like, yeah, it's like when you're like, it's like league, you know, like you don't want diamond players playing with the bronze players, you know, like.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of mid-tier guy groups have not won music shows, right?
Right.
I think Road to Kingdom is way more exciting than.
It's way more exciting than the just Kingdom.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I think I cut off.
Yeah,
But I think Road to Kingdom is far more exciting than.
I feel like they should have just focused on that, right? I feel like that's a more definitive, like, this is who can be on the show. This is like the main contestant demographic they're going for. So I'm a little confused.
Here's the thing. It's like, I kind of agree with you on that, because if we think about the guy group landscape, there's a lot in the mid-tier. There's a lot of groups that are like sort of rookie-ish, but still in the mid-tier. There's some veteran groups in the mid-tier. Road to Kingdom is going to be a bloody battle. Like,
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like Kingdom, the regular show, is just going to come down to who's most popular. But Road to Kingdom is going to be... I hope they go with an expert panel to pick the winners, not a fan vote. But, oh, okay. Wait, I'm confused.
Okay. Let me explain for the listeners.
Okay.
Our next thing was about Spotify. TLDR, Spotify might be coming to Korea. But I just remembered that I read an article where Korean Music Copyright Association said, no, it's not happening
Oh.
for any given future.
What?
Was this recent? Because that was like the sort of stuff they were talking about back in August.
5 days ago, they said they're like, no, it's not happening. We'll talk about it again if it happens.
No, yeah. So the interesting thing about that was that there was like full-on reports that they were opening up an office in Gangnam, and like they had signed a lease.
What?
Oh.
So that's why I'm a little bit confused. But if Spotify, but all right, we'll give an overview then. If Spotify does come to Korea, it's going to change the game, because obviously Spotify is one of the top 2 streaming platforms in the United States, along with Apple, iTunes, music, that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
If it does come, it will completely change the streaming landscape, and a lot of groups that are doing well internationally would get a lot more success on the Korean market, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm kind of concerned that they're not going to be able to break into like almost a monopolized market.
That's true.
Yeah, because Milan has big control over this market. It's incredibly bad.
Yeah, that's okay. Here's a funny thing. When the first article came out on Naver about this potentially happening, the number 1 comment with the most upvotes was F Melon.
Everyone hates Melon.
Yeah, that was the number 1.
But we'll have to see what happens. That being said, Vibe Music, which is replacing Naver Music,
Oh.
is essentially Spotify with the chart.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to watch. But time for quick takes, Douglas.
Okay, quick takes. The first one, BTS unveiled the track list for Map of the Soul 7 consisting of 20 songs,
Oh my.
What?
including the A track, which is going to be called On. Map of the Soul 7 is BTS's fourth studio album and is set to release on February 21st and already has over 4 million pre-orders.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
The music video for On will be released 1 week later on February 28th. BTS will also be participating in an interview for The Today Show on release day and will appear on a pre-recorded episode of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon on the 24th.
Oh my.
Apparently, the appearance on Fallon is their biggest production ever on that show. Like,
Oh.
they apparently are going to perform at Grand Central Station, which is a massive train station in
What?
New York.
Oh, boy.
They're going to be doing an interview on the subway. They're going to be taking them to Cat's Deli. Like, a bunch of crazy stuff is going to be happening.
Wow.
Wow.
Next,
4 million.
News One shared that Blackpink are planning a massive new global project alongside their comeback slated for the first half of 2020.
I don't believe it.
YG Entertainment stated that it is difficult to confirm details of the global project at the moment, but they will repay fans with good music and news. People kind of know what it is.
Oh, really?
I'm
It's
gonna
a thing?
let y'all know.
Is it actually happening?
People were scrubbing the internet trying to figure out what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
There was a placeholder on Netflix for a Blackpink documentary.
Eh?
Documentary?
Yes.
What documentary is there to make?
I don't know, but people think they're getting a Netflix like documentary or series or something related to Netflix because there was a placeholder.
All right, well, this will be interesting. Oh, man.
Next one. Starship Entertainment announced that they will debut a new boy group later this year. They are hoping for the first half of 2020, and the group will have 9 members, including Kang Min-hee and Seo-jun from Produce X101 and X1.
Song Hyung-jun and Kang Min-hee from PDX 101 and X1. Wow.
They're just
Interesting.
moving on quickly. That is.
Yeah.
There were reports of the X1 fandom talking directly to agencies, like how can we make a subunit group? And a lot of the agencies were contingent on other agencies joining. They were like, if you get half of them to join, we'll join this. But Starship saying no is a big deal, I think, for that.
Starship is one of the big players in the game, so.
Yeah.
Next, YG, the man himself, his informant intimidation case will be sent to prosecution.
Oh, oof.
It was determined that he partially admitted to the accusations against him. So basically, during the BI drug investigation, it was found that someone knew about BI's drug use and YG intimidated them to not say anything.
Well,
So that is being sent to prosecution.
You are being
Next.
officially oofed in the government. Audi boy. All right, sorry, go.
Next, Polaris Entertainment announced the departure of Ladies Code from the label. All 3 members decided not to renew their contracts with Polaris, but will keep promoting under the Ladies Code name.
Okay.
Shout out to Ladies Code.
Well, yeah, as long as ladies code, the group is still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, lastly, Orbits, brace yourselves here. So February 13th, the Seoul Central District Court ordered Luna's label, Blockberry Creative, as well as the label's parent company, Polaris, to pay back a foreign investor company known as Donuts 3.5 billion Korean won, which is about $3 million United States, in full for violation of a investment contract. So we talked about this last year.
Right.
Yeah.
There was some kind of agreement where Donuts was going to invest in BlackBerry and in Luna, and they wanted them to like make appearances on their in-house like platform. I don't know what kind of platform it was, and they really didn't, so they sued. And there's rumors circulating that they're going to try to block Luna's promotions in the future. We don't know what that means. In a separate legal case earlier, BBC and Polaris were ordered to pay back Donuts an investment deposit of 360 million Korean won, which is about 300,000 US, relating to real estate. So apparently Donuts was like put in some money so that BlackBerry Creative could get a studio or some kind of building, and something happened and they were sued them and they had to pay them back. So not a really good look.
Boy.
Man, I hope this situation gets figured out. That's a little concerning.
Because they're at like 3.3 million US, right? That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Oh, that's.
I know Luna is selling well, but like still 3.3 million is a lot. Like,
I'd be concerned. Yeah, this is actually very concerning. That's a lot of money.
I feel like BBC already spent the money on the music videos and stuff too.
Yeah,
So I
it's
don't
gone.
know. I don't know where they're gonna get that. But Warren, hit us with them comebacks and releases.
February 18 on Tuesday, we have today on Dreamcatcher. Also on February 18th, Tuesday, we also have Wekimiki.
Oh wait, that's on I think the 20th.
You liar.
I'm not. I think that's a Thursday on the 20th. We're getting Wiki Mickey, but keep going.
Okay. The day after, on February 21st, on Friday, we have BTS Map of the Soul 7 album drop. It's gonna be a big one. On February 23rd, Sunday, we have Super Junior's Donghae's solo debut featuring BY. Confirmed comeback news following this is Elris for February 26th, Seungha for February 29th, ITZY for March 9th, Victon for March 9th, Winner for March, G-Idol for mid-March, Ong Sang-woo for March or April. Thank you. That was Warren Lee.
Okay.
Wasn't that great? Oh my god. I'm getting better at this every week.
Okay. Well, I feel like you were practicing your voice for the outro like shout outs.
Oh, the Patreon outro.
The Patreon outro shout outs. But State of the Nation. So I'm on vacation. I did do some K-pop related things. There's a store in Orlando called K-Pop in USA.
Oh wow.
They had number one, amazing selection. They had like everything. They already had Rocket Punch's album. It was only $20, I think. So
Wow.
that was pretty cool. I bought a ton of albums so we can do some giveaways in the future. So look forward to that. They also gave me a EXO cheering kit that was in Mandarin. So
Oh, yes.
Oh wow.
I don't know exactly what's in it. I used like a translate app, but obviously that's not perfect. So there's some cool stuff, I guess, in there. They also gave me an entire deck of Jin photo cards because they asked who my BTS bias was. I'm like, Jin? They gave me it. So if you are receiving any mail from SojuTalk, you are getting a lot of cards because there's like 60 of them in there. No, there's like 100 to be
Oh my
honest.
god.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
But shout out to K-Pop in USA. Number one, fantastic selection. Number two, the prices were all really cheap. They were about the amount Amazon is, and it was a little bit cheaper than that. And you don't have to wait for shipping or anything. You could just get it. So they also had a table where all albums were $10.
Oh wow.
So they had like one of the From Miss 9 albums on there and some other things. But if you're ever in Orlando, please check out K-Pop in USA. Shout out to them. All right, Warren, what have you been doing?
I have not been doing that much in the world of K-pop, to be honest. My playlist has been very full of J-pop and Korean rap and Japanese EDM. But I will say, however, right across from my desk right now, sitting on the floor, is a big package. It's the Rocket Punch album. I got it today. The plan was to unbox it on camera. Sadly, there's no camera today because of technical difficulties. It didn't work out. So I'm gonna try to wait. It's gonna be painful, but I'm gonna try to wait until next week. I'll open it there. But it's incredibly exciting. I got the poster this time around. It came for free, albeit I had to pay extra for shipping, but that's okay. It's okay. It's with me now in my in my room right next to me, sitting there.
Okay.
But yeah, besides that, I've been listening to a lot of rap recently, and a lot of like Korean indie.
Ooh.
There's a band called Adoe. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They're a mix of, I would say, modern rock, city pop. I know, right? I wouldn't quite say city pop. They have a very modern feel. But there is a bit of relationship, I would say, to city pop. But in general, I like them a lot nowadays. I've also been listening to a lot of Hyego. They dropped they dropped their album recently. I know that the drummer Inu is going through some difficult times right now. My best wishes to him. Hope he gets all the rest he needs away from promotion. But yeah, that's pretty much all in the world of K-pop for me. Swagger.
All right, Anita, that is you.
So for me, I have three things, I think.
Oh, wow.
So the
wow.
first one is kind of recent, but I was just browsing the internet, YouTube videos, and I've been going through just playlists of just random songs. They tend to be more like indie, like KND stuff. But I came across the full album of one band. It's called the band has a very interesting title. It's called Broccoli U2.
Broccoli no mazo.
Yes.
Broccoli even you, I guess.
Even something like that. The translation is very interesting. But I came across their debut album, which was released in 2008. I think it's titled a universal song or a common song, I think is the title of the album.
Yeah, that's a good translation.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I really enjoyed the album. I feel like overall just their sound, or at least the sound of this album, is very like nostalgic of that time, like late 2000s, late to mid 2000s. And it's really weird because I didn't hear this group before. And I don't think I've really listened to bands from that time that did indie stuff. So it was something new for me. But I think one of the tracks that I really enjoyed was the first one called Dance. So that's a good one.
That's the legendary song, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good song. So if you want something like nostalgic, like late 2000s indie rock-ish, definitely check them out. But going off of that, I read a lot of the comments from the music video, and a lot of people were typing and saying like, oh yes, this reminds me of that time when I was younger. And they mentioned this website called Cyworld.
Oh my goodness. Where have you been digging, Anita?
Cyworld.
Yes.
That's like Korean MySpace, more or less.
Yes,
Pretty
basically,
much, yeah.
that's what it is. But the thing was, what I found interesting is that people were talking about this, and I don't know if it was a feature of the website or people just listened to this kind of music or like certain songs that were popular at the time when this social network site was very popular. But like suggestions came up afterwards that saying like Cyworld BGM music, like very like top songs from like late 2000s, like Vibe, MC Mong,
Oh my goodness.
SG Wannabe, like that kind of stuff.
Ice Cream by MC Mong is a legendary
Yeah.
Cyworld song.
But it was, I don't know, it's so interesting because I felt like, oh my god, like this is like the equivalent of MySpace here in the US. So it felt like, oh, this like, so it's like that kind of vibe where it's very late 2000s, people posting online, and these playlists that people compiled are like very reminiscent of that time. So I thought it was really cool. Yeah, I don't know, do you guys have more experience with Cyworld? I don't really know what it was.
Not with Cyworld, but like MySpace taught me HTML. That's it.
Cyworld is something, actually I was a little too young for that Cyworld, but it was, my mom used it back when we lived in Michigan when I was about in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 2nd grade, that kind of era, because back when when I was in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, we were in Canada and Michigan for about 2.5 years or so. And it was pretty much our only way of contacting our friends in Korea, besides email, because there was no other social media at that point. In the context of this, you had this ability to build your mini me. You had the ability to build your bedroom. There was a big chart because you could pay actual money to buy songs to play when people visit your room, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like for example, if I visited Anita's room, it could play Just Kiss or something, like
I would have a playlist or something.
Right,
okay.
right. Mine, I don't remember what ours was. I think it was a Losing Her song, but yeah, that was really cool. It's really nostalgic. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Well, yeah, I did like a little bit of rabbit hole thing because it just popped up and I was like, what is Cyworld? But that makes a lot of sense now. The second thing that I've been into is JO1. So if you guys have been keeping up with Produce 101 Japan, JO1 is the debut group that came out of the show, and they recently had their debut song called Mugendai. I think it means infinity in Japanese.
Okay.
And I listened to it. It's very interesting. I feel like initially, well, see, I don't really know if it's good or bad because it very much has like influence from K-pop, and I was expecting that. Not quite the trend that's going on with boy groups with a very dark red, white, black palette sort of concept, but some elements of it I can see like, oh, that's definitely an influence from what's trending right now in Korea. But I felt like for me, my biggest concern was like choreography wise and vocals, because these trainees were not experienced at all before going into the show, so there was some learning curve as far as like dancing and singing, but I think everybody did really, really well. I think like the key point for me in the dance is this like, what is it, like flex move, like a bicep flex.
Why are they flexing? They flexing.
Yeah, they're flexing. It's an interesting move. I think for me, I would have wished the chorus had been a little bit more energetic in the choreography, because I feel like they can definitely do it. But I think it's a safe debut. I think moving forward, if they do a little bit more hardcore choreography and really showcase the vocals, it will be fine. It just feels like they're still a little safe at the moment, but I think that makes sense according to like the circumstances they're in. And lastly, I want to talk about NCT 127, because they are going to have a comeback in March as well. And they've been releasing a lot of teasers and comeback info, images, stuff. But what I'm most excited about is that they released a timeline of what is it, like comeback activities they're going to do before or like during their like the first week of March, I think. And so there's a video uploaded to SM Town channel called Neo Zone Timeline, and in this teaser they kind of took a very retro late 80s early 90s concept and really committed to it. It's basically what I understand it to be. It's basically like MTV. So Neo Zone is like MTV, like a channel, and they have so like different programs which are essentially going to be different videos that are going to be uploaded. And they have like a theme. So one is like, what is it, like a radio show? Another one is like uncut, which I'm guessing is like behind the scenes of recording. And then there's going to be like a talk show section. So it looks really, really interesting.
What is this Neo Zone top chart written in the style of like the 70s over here?
Yes, exactly. It's very, very retro. I really, really like it. I've just been replaying this teaser timeline thing because I love the instrumental. If the song they're coming back with sounds like this, I'm all for it. I'm excited. I'm excited for NCT.
This is their second full-length film, right?
Yes. For 127.
You know,
I mean, they need to pop off soon, right? This kind of has to be it, right?
I hope they do.
I hope they do. I mean,
right?
I've always liked a lot of the NCT music. It's just I feel like there are other reasons why they aren't as like super big, but
here's the thing. It's like NCT is one of those groups. It's like they're like top tier. You know what I mean? That's the best way to put it.
tier.
like if they want to be definitive top tier, it's like out there waiting for them to grab it, right? It's like just blow up a little bit more, and you like based on the landscape right now, they essentially are top tier, but it's like it just doesn't feel that way, right? Like I don't know.
Could be a little more,
right? Doesn't it feel like especially because of the success of their some big groups at SM, the guy groups.
I guess by comparison, you do expect a little more.
You know, I like the album cover a lot.
I like this whole concept. I'm really sold on this.
This is one of the few times where I'll actively say I really like the album cover.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness. I'm excited.
But I think that wraps everything up. I'm pretty sure we broke our longest record today.
Oh,
I think this is over 2 hours.
No, it's not 2 hours
What?
yet. No, it's not
It's
2
not?
hours.
Okay,
It's not,
we're
it's
close
not.
though. We're close.
No, we're not that close.
Oh, we're not?
not.
Okay. Oh, never mind. But man, it's weird when I'm not the one like recording because I can't see how long it's been.
I
It's
get time.
it's a weird experience. Let's just say that. But
Can
we'll
I
be
say
back.
something real quick before you wrap up?
Yeah.
I feel like I was a little too spicy in the beginning today, especially
Hello.
with the song review.
Well, that's a little bit too late. Our retention
Yeah, I know.
drops off by now.
Yeah. But I was a little emotionally charged in the beginning. I do want to note, because
Man, I'm salty at you.
I know. It always comes down to the fact that I want better songs for the idols, and sometimes it's not the case. And that my emotions are driven towards most of the cases the producers and the companies, not the idols themselves. So, yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thank you for joining. This is SojuTalk.
I got things to say. Number one, please sign up for the Eyes One Fiesta. Not the Fiesta, but the Eyes One signed album giveaway.
Bloom,
Additionally, I forgot to mention this. Well, it's not Bloom is because it's Colorize. No, not Colorize. I can't think right now. Give me 1 second. The album we are giving away is
It's Bloom Eyes.
No, you're
No?
giving away Hard Eyes because Bloom Eyes, they still haven't signed for M-Wave yet.
Oh, you're giving away. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes, because you
Yeah.
you can't even buy Bloom is in stores right now.
Actually, yeah, Bloom is the one that just dropped today. Or
Exactly.
yesterday. Yeah.
But the other thing I forgot to mention in State of the Nation is next week, barring Amazon screwing up my order, we will be having a Map of the Soul 7 giveaway next week, which is crazy.
2 giveaways back to back in a row?
Bro.
Bro.
We feeding the nation, fam. Feeding the nation.
Wait, on that note, we're going to Toy Fair.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be fun. Doug, are you ready?
I feel like you mentioning it now is like now we have to explain it.
Oh no, we don't have no. You know what? If you want to know what it is, go to our YouTube channel next week. Sometime, I don't know when the video will be up, but there will be a video up and it'll be fun.
I mean, knowing you, it might not ever go up.
No, it will go up at one point.
But this has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me today. We will see y'all next time when we pick a winner for the Eyes One Signed album contest and announce the BTS Map of the Soul 7 giveaway and also review Map of the Soul 7. So we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye. Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Cypher, Gogu Mama, Jacob, Hana Kima, Malfiar, NJ Parks, Pure K-pop Sounds, and Wolf297. Thank you for joining SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop.